Hi there, I'm Davey Clark, and I'm here at Grays Harbor National Wildlife Refuge, getting ready for the annual Grays Harbor Shorebird and Nature Festival. What's the Shorebird Festival all about? Come with me as we explore a national wildlife refuge and talk to local experts to find out more. Wildlife migration is one of nature's most amazing spectacles. Whether it's elephants in Africa, eels in Europe, gray whales, penguins in Antarctica, or monarch butterflies, migrating wildlife are traveling thousands of miles every single year. For a short period of time, every single year, an incredible group of migrating wildlife called shorebirds visit Grays Harbor National Wildlife Refuge here in Hoquiam. They're truly amazing because even though they're flying 5,000, 6,000, some of them up to 10,000 miles every year, they may be as small as 1 ounce. You're invited to come out to the Wildlife Refuge and check out this truly incredible spectacle. Every year, during late April and early May, hundreds of thousands of shorebirds migrate right through Grays Harbor County. They're on their way to their breeding grounds in Alaska, and they stop right here to rest, to refuel, and get supercharged before they make that final push up to Alaska. The festival is a free event here at Grays Harbor National Wildlife Refuge right here in Hoquiam. It's a place where you and your family can get outside and enjoy all that nature has to offer. Did we mention that it's free? Grays Harbor National Wildlife Refuge is just 2 miles away from Hoquiam High School, right next to Bowerman Airport. It's managed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service and was set aside specifically to protect migratory shorebirds. But don't just take it from me. Let's go check in with Ryan Muniz, the refuge wildlife biologist, and find out more about exactly why the Wildlife Refuge is such a special place for shorebirds.
Thanks, Davey. The Wildlife Refuge is an amazing place to watch the spring migration of shorebirds as they move north. Out here in Bowerman Basin, you will find lots of Dunlin and Western sandpipers. If you look very close, you can find least sandpipers, hopefully black-bellied plovers, as well as red knots. This mudflat out here is a great place for the shorebirds to find food and fuel up as they migrate north. There's a whole host of invertebrates for fuel for these birds as they migrate north. It may be clams, crustaceans, insects, or marine worms. You may ask, when's a good time to see the birds? Well, spring migration occurs out here mid-April through mid-May. The best viewing times are 2 hours before the high tide. Bowerman Basin is a mudflat right now, but as the tides come up in the whole Grays Harbor area, the shorebirds leave those feeding grounds, coming to the last of the mudflat, where they can get the whole host of all those invertebrates. When coming out to the refuge, bring a pair of binoculars or a spotting scope to view the shorebirds out on the mudflat. The shorebirds don't always get a free meal. Let's talk to Dan Varlin at Coastal Raptors. He will tell us more about the aerial predators.
Well, thanks, Ryan, for the introduction. When you're out here looking at the shorebirds, keep in mind there are some aerial predators in play, particularly 2 species of falcon, the peregrine falcon and the merlin, and both of them key in on shorebirds, particularly the large flocks, when the large flocks are in. So I want to talk to you a little bit how to position yourself and look around and make sure you can see and understand this particularly exciting part of the ecology of the mudflat. All right, so when you're out here, as Ryan suggested, try to get out a couple hours before high tide, and as the tide comes up, the shorebirds congregate in greater numbers, and you want to be looking at the shorebirds, of course, and the 2 primary species are the Western sandpiper and the Dunlin. They're here in large numbers, and you look around, and then sometimes you'll see, when the falcons come in, what you'll see is that the birds will get up and they'll move around in response to the predator. And they form these unique shapes, spherical shapes that come and go as the falcon adjusts its position. And the idea, if you're the shorebird, is to get some of those your partners in flight in between you and the falcon. And it's just a beautifully choreographed scene one of the special things about it is that as you watch, the color changes. So in both of these species, the Dunlin and the Western Sandpiper, the breasts are white and the backs are brown. And so as they move around, you see these beautiful flashes of white and brown, light and dark. And then so you want to look at the flock, and you want to look above it and look for a very fast moving bird, and that will be your falcon diving into the flock and picking up, perhaps picking up one of the shorebirds and landing somewhere with it.
My name is Laura Prado, and I'm an educator here in the harbor area. I've been bringing students out here for years to see the refuge. The refuge to me is an important part of our environment, and I would like to see kids come out and experience this phenomenon. Right now on the trail, I'm standing at one of the first viewing points, and it's my favorite area because it's where we get to see the refuge for the first time. From out here, you can see where the salt marshes start to come in and react with the mud flats. You can see some of the eagles and the falcons as they come out. Also, this is a great place to stop and to listen and smell the refuge. It is a place where you can hear the songbirds and smell the interaction of the salt water. If you're lucky, you'll be able to see the birds lift up as one and undulate back and forth from dark to light, looking like a mist or a cloud over the bay. We call it a murmur, and it is an amazing sight to see. Such a unique area, and it's ours. And I highly recommend you bring your families out here, your children out here to see it, to experience it. As an educator, one of the main ways that we work with the Grace Harbor Wildlife Refuge is that they bring specialized instruction into our classrooms. They teach our kids about bird adaptations, about their migrations, what they're eating when they get here, why are they here, and the most important lesson is how to draw a shorebird. At the end of these sessions, we bus our kids out here and they get to see what they have learned. It's always fun to see the excitement when they get here and to realize what is just a few minutes away from their homes. One of the opportunities that you're going to find on the website this year, or maybe in your child's classroom, is a shorebird poster contest. In the shorebird poster contest, the only requirement is it needs to have a shorebird on it. There are lots of tutorials online to do that, or if they're lucky enough to be part of the program, they'll learn that in class. Each year, they award ribbons in every grade level, and the overall winner of the poster contest gets to actually be a published artist and be the official logo for next year's festival. Also on the website, you're going to find some activities that you could use to extend your experience after your walk out here or before. Give your kids a little bit of a prequel of what they're going to see before they come out here.
After visiting Grays Harbor National Wildlife Refuge, you can explore other coastal areas and wetlands and view other shorebirds closer to home. West of Hoquiam in Ocean Shores, there are a number of places to access the beach off of Washington 115. You can watch sanderlings chasing behind receding waves in search of food, and possibly other shorebird species not seen at Grays Harbor National Wildlife Refuge. Find some time to explore shorebirds south of Grays Harbor at some areas off of Washington 105. You could visit Grayland, Tokeland, or Westport. You're sure to see different species in the rocky habitats and the mudflat habitats. You can find directions and information on viewing these birds at the festival website, shorebirdfestival.com. It's a sight to see right here in our backyard. So come spend a day in nature, take in all that nature has to offer. Whether it's the sights, the sounds, the smells, it's always a great day to come out, but especially during the Shorebird Festival. So to plan your visit, visit shorebirdfestival.com. And don't forget to bring binoculars.